So in the last class, we talked mostly about Excel sheet operations, sending mail in Gmail, and all of that stuff. And I also provided some assignments. I'm not sure how many of you were able to do that. So we can discuss the assignment if you want, or we can go to the next topic based on whatever you choose. Did anyone try to do that? So anyway, we can discuss that. There was like Jitu, like he was asking me some doubts, but he's not there in the call. Otherwise, oh, Arun tried. So how was it, Arun? Were you able to solve that, the first one? Arun, your like the audio is still not working for you. When you will I not be able to hear you? Okay. Opened Excel, got data, but then after collection could not proceed further. Okay. Okay. So let me show you that. That is, I'll just show you the solution without doing it from the scratch. Yeah, we have to use decision basically. So you are right on that track. Not this one. Audio is still a problem. Are you trying to join from mobile? If you are trying to join from mobile, are you able to access it? Either you can join through your laptop's laptop's earphone port, and click on the mic and speakers, or you can join from mobile with this dial-in number and access code. Through laptop, you are not able to join. Okay. Okay. So if it is more of a problem for you, then you can go ahead and join through your mobile phone with this dial-in number. You should be allowed to do that. Sometimes it doesn't, like it says it's busy or something one or two times, but you should be able to attend that. We have taken classes of like more than 10 people through this, and it was fine. Sometimes people say that first time they call or second time, sometimes it gets auto disconnected, but they again able to do that. Otherwise, if it is not that important, you can ask me your doubts here also, and listen to whatever I am teaching here. Okay, so let me check for this assignment. Yeah, this is the one. So what I'm doing here is, so what was the assignment was is, let me check which workbook I am using. Merit.xls. So this is the workbook. Okay, sheet 1 we had data like name and then merit and then gender. I guess this is the one or something like this. Okay. So what we try to do is, city or something here is the place where he was born, something like that was there. Here I have taken gender. Okay. So what we try to do is, if it was city. Okay, that is fine. We don't care about this one. So if the person is married, if it is yes, then copy the name and gender to sheet 2. This 2 column only to sheet 2. So basically here the output should be Tom M and Nick M. Okay, because the married is Y for this 2. And if the person is not married, so here like Henry is not married because married is N. And for Henry, like the name and gender column should be copied to sheet 3. So here sheet 3 will contain Henry and F. Okay, here Henry and F should come. So this is a good assignment, because what we are doing is that we are checking one of the field in the collection. Also, we are learning how to segregate the collection. We are skipping one of the middle like column and taking first and third only. So let's see. For mobile also you are not able to join. Okay. Not sure what is happening. We'll check after this class how you are joining, because this is like a problem with your computer or something, I guess. We'll check this, okay? Because everyone else is able to join this apart from you. Okay. Okay then. We'll check after the class around what is happening, because I think you may not be joining in the correct way or something, because there are two ways to join. One of the way at least should work. Okay, so let's see how it is solved. So initially this one I'm not going to talk much. This is what we already discussed. This is about create instance. This is the same one. So till this point what I am doing with all these 4 steps, I am getting data to my collection. Okay, so this is create instance, CI I have written. This is open workbook, and this is get worksheet as collection. So in the create instance, I'm just creating an instance, MS Excel VBO create instance. And in the open workbook, just MS Excel VBO and open workbook, I'm opening this particular workbook in the desktop. In the get worksheet as collection, again, there is nothing much here. I'm using the same handle, workbook name, sheet 1, because this is from where I'll get my data. This is something we have discussed before also, how to get the data to collection and how to write the data back to the Excel sheet. We have discussed this before. In the outputs, we have the data. In the outputs, we are taking a collection, and the name of the collection is data. And this is where we will be storing all our data. So once this is processed, this collection, data collection, will be populated with all the value from the Excel sheet 1, right? So there are some errors here. Let me check. Missing link. Okay. 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 After that, get worksheet as collection. So data got populated. So let me put a breakpoint here. So have I discussed about the, did I discuss in the last class about the breakpoints, then debugging techniques?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. So I'm putting a breakpoint here, and let me run till this breakpoint so that I'll get my data and I'll be able to check my data. Okay, it's open, so I need to close this. So it stopped here in the breakpoint. So I got all this data, Tom, Henry, and Nick, and all the data as same as the sheet 1. Now what I am doing, now I need to check what is this field. What do we call this field? This merit field. How will you access this? Data.merit. Data.name will give this, data.gender will give this. So what I'll check, if data.merit equal to Y, then copy to sheet 2. If data.merit equal to N, then copy to sheet 3. There are 2 options here. So let's copy to sheet 2 first. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a decision stage to check if data.merit equal to Y. Okay, very simple. If data.merit equal to Y, if it is yes, then this part for copying to sheet 2, this part is for copying to sheet 3. Okay, so let's see how we are doing. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking a decision stage here, okay, for merit people. If data dot like merit equal to Y, taking a decision stage, double click that. What I'm doing here, I am adding a row. So I am using something called collection. Okay, this may be something new to you. I am using something called collection. So there can be other ways also. Okay, so whatever problem you see, this is a problem, and this any problem can be solved through multiple ways. So you may have your own way of writing the logic. I'll be having my way of writing the logic. So logic will differ from person to person. What I am using here is something called collection. Okay. So in the collection is a internal business object. Okay. In the collection, what I am doing, add row. What add row does is add row adds a new empty row to the collection. Okay. Your add row will add a new empty row to the collection. So what I am doing here is collection name I am providing married. It is telling me to provide the collection name. So what I have done, I have created two collection, one for married and one for unmarried. So let me show you the collection. These two collection, one for married and one for unmarried. So in the married collection, I have taken two like fields. One is name and gender, because we are going to copy only two fields to the sheet 2, not the like married one, not the second field. So name and gender only we are going to copy. So I have created two fields here. Similarly, for an unmarried also two fields, name and gender. So what I will do, based if he is married, then I'll copy all the data to married collection. If he is not married, I'll like copy all the data to unmarried collection. After that, you very well know how to like take the collection to write to the Excel sheet, right? We have discussed how to take the collection and write it back to the Excel sheet. Okay, so let's see this. So what I'm doing here, if the person is married, then I am adding a new row to the collection, which is married collection, adding a new row to the married collection. After that, I'll add data to that new empty row, right? So what I'm doing, I'm using a multi-calculation stage here, multi-calculation. There, what I'm doing, I'm copying from my data collection to married collection. So in the multi-calculation, what I'm doing, my expression is data.name, and I'm storing that in married.name. So married is a married collection. Then data.gender in married.gender. These two stuffs I am doing. And you're able to understand what I'm doing here, this part particularly? Fine, right? Here what I'm doing, I'm taking the data from the main collection, which is data collection, and I'm copying it to name to married.name, data.gender to married.gender. So obviously, loop part. Yeah, sure. I'll go back to that. So here we are starting the loop. Okay, loop start and loop end. It means that we are looping the data collection, obviously. Okay, so in the loop start, we are looping the collection, which is data collection. So in the data collection, we have all these values. So one by one, this will be executed. First Tom, first then Henry, then Nick. So let's see the example of Tom first. So data.gender for Tom is Y. Okay, so then we are coming here, if married, so data.married equal to Y. So sorry, that was married, data.married equal to Y. So for Tom, it is in the first loop, it is true, data.married equal to Y. So it will take the yes part, right? Then it will go to the married action stage. Here what I am doing, I'm adding a new row to a collection. Which collection? Married collection. Okay, I'm adding a new row to the married collection. So an empty row is added to the married collection. Married collection contains two fields only. One is name and one is gender. Okay. Once I copy an empty row, so I need to fill the empty row data. So what I will feed, what should married.name and married.gender contain? The same one from here. It should be copied from here. So they should contain Tom, which is data.name, and data.gender, which is M. So what I'll do, I'll just copy it. So I'm using a multi-calculation stage here, something like this. And here what I'm doing, I'm putting data.name into married.name, data.gender into married.gender. So by the end of this process, what it will do, married collection will contain one row with name and gender copied from data collection. Okay. Any doubts here? You understood this part, how I'm getting it to married collection. Again, this part is same. absolutely same. If it is not married, then we'll go to unmarried collection and we'll add an empty row to the unmarried collection here. What I'm doing, using business object as collection, action as add row. Why we need to use multi-calculation? Yeah, I'll tell you. And collection name is equal to unmarried, and there also we are using the same one here. So I have not done this. You can go ahead and do this. Okay, you can add 2 rows here, and it will copy data to unmarried collection. So why we need to use the multi-calculation? As I said, I have used this. Okay, if you find some better logic, you can go ahead and use that. So what I basically needed is, I needed some way to for married collection to be filled. Okay, because I know how to write data to the Excel sheet from collection. Okay, we all know how to write data from Excel collection to Excel sheet by using something like this. Write collection, we are using MS Excel VBO to write collection, where we provided all the details where to write the data and everything. Okay, so because I know this, what is my point here, that I should be able to populate the married collection so that I can write it to sheet 2, right? So how will I populate the married collection? How will I populate this married collection? So I found this way to populate this. So how will I populate the name and gender in the married collection? I need some way to populate it, right? So this is how I'm populating. I'm copying data.name to married.name and copying data.gender to married.gender. Okay, so there are other ways. For example, if you drag and drop an action stage, double click, and use there is something called collection manipulation. I'm not sure if I have talked about this, so we'll talk about this in future. If you import this, let me check. If you import this utility collection manipulation, you have something called copy rows. So what this will do is that it will copy rows from source collection to destination collection. Okay, it will copy row from one collection to another collection. But the problem is with this is that we don't want to copy everything. We want to skip a column in between. The married column we don't want to copy. That was the problem. Okay, or let me check if you have the option here also. Copy rows. Okay, this also you can do. You can use copy rows where you can do collection name, then start row and end row. So you have to provide start row and end row here. Okay, you cannot skip a row in between. It is like 1 to 5 or 2 to 6, like that, start row and row. But what we are doing is we are copying 1 and 3 only. So we cannot do 1 to 3, something like that. If there is a logic, you can try that. So I did not found any direct direct business object and action for such scenario. So what I did to solve this, to remove to not copy the married one, that is the reason I used a multi-calculation stage where I manually copied data.name to married.name and data.gender to married.gender. Okay, so that I not copy the married column, data.married column. That is the reason I am using the multi-calculation stage. Okay, did you understand this, Arun? Let me know if you have any doubts. I can share this. Okay, kind of. Okay then. So what I'll do is I'll share this particular process. So, and I'll tell you how you can import it directly, and you can just go through this by yourself by running it, so that you'll be able to understand. So what we are doing, after married collection and unmarried collections are populated, I'm doing a loop end here. So after that, very basic one, write to sheet 2. So handle, and this is, we are using a write collection. This is something we have already done, write collection. So handle, workbook name, then sheet 2 here, we're writing to sheet 2, which collection will take data from married collection, A1 and true. Okay, this is something we have already done. And similarly, we can write to sheet 3, but we don't have anything to write here. You can obviously go ahead and populate the unmarried collection here. This is empty. You can, go ahead and use it in the same way. After that, we are doing close and save, where we are closing and saving the workbook. So let me run this. So let's populate the. So we are expecting this, sheet 2 to be populated. So here, sheet 2 will be populated. So let's run this, and let me remove this one. See here again, one by one it is processing. Some are going to married, some are going to unmarried, and data is getting copied right to sheet 3, and everything is getting written and end of the process. Okay, now reset this, and you can check the married.xls, and here sheet 2 contains all the married people's list, Tom and Nick, okay, and their gender. So Tom and Nick were married, so the list and the gender. So basically you can take sheet here and you can access that. I just took gender because this is something I discussed in another class, so I didn't change it. Okay, and sheet 3 also you can populate in the same way, just you need to fill that multi calculation stage. Okay, so this is how this is how I solved this. If you have any better approach, you can go ahead and do that. So once more, let's do this in debugging mode, so that you won't have any doubts. So I'm just debugging this. I'm running this in the debugging mode, not this one. I'll step over for the collection for the Excel sheet import, so I'm getting all data. Okay, then let's get married collection here and unmarried collection here and data. These are the 3 collections, right? So again, step over. So get Worksheet collection ran, and in the data, I got all the value here. After that, what I'll do is I'll do a step into if married. I'm checking if data.married equal to y. Step into. Here I am, checking in the action stage. Here I'm copying all the data from data.name to data.married and data.gender to married.gender. Copy and loop in. This is how the flow becomes. If you do a step again, it will go here and it is, so see here, Tom and M are copied in married. And now it is accessing the second row, data 2 of 3, which is Henry. So married is N here, so it will go to left side. So step in, it went to left side, and it will do the same thing. Okay, so this process will continue. So this is how it is designed. So what I'll do is I'll save this and I will provide you this one. I'll provide you this particular process. So what you need to do to access this is you have to go to your, when I provide you this, you have to go to File, Import, and wherever you have saved it, you have to save it. Wherever I provided in Google Drive, you have to save it. Then browse and you have to import that particular one. Okay, whatever I provide, you have to import that, and the same process will come here with the same name. The process will come automatically here, so that you can check how it is designed. Okay, how it is done. Okay then. So any doubts here in this case? Let me know. Else we'll go to the next topic. Fine. Okay. So there was another assignment that is also like I have done that, but if you want to try that for a few more days, you can continue and try. Because a lot of the stuffs we have not discussed, I thought you will explore a lot of stuffs in that case. So either you can do that by yourself. Okay. The file copy assignment.
Yeah, print.
Yeah.
Sagar here.
Yes, Sagar.
Did you actually figure it out what exactly happened to me on that day or with the Prism assignment that I was doing actually? The task, it was throwing some error, right? I shared the screenshot with you.
Just 1 minute. Dinesh Kumar. Who is this? Hello. Who just joined the call? Dinesh? I'm not sure who just joined the call from where. Okay, so the date assignment you are telling, right, Sagar?
No, I was actually practicing the previous assignments, the task which we did in our previous classes earlier. So I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to replicate it at my end. So I
Hmm.
was facing that error message on the decision stage, I believe so.
Date, right?
I
That was a date thing.
Yes.
No, I didn't check that because I'm not sure, how it is happening for you, and I don't, I didn't find any generic solution for that. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what is the issue there because it's working in, it's working in my laptop, everyone else laptop, but I'm not particularly sure if it is a issue with the Blue Prism side or something because you have seen in my laptop, right? It was working fine.
Yes.
So like it is very, your tool specific error. So that is something I didn't check actually. And like
Okay.
there is nothing to check there because it's a very simple thing.
Mhm.
So like what do you ask people like how to add days to date, then it is a very simple thing and it's working in my laptop.
Correct.
So not sure, what is happening with your laptop. So it is definitely a tool specific or or some error from your SQL connection or something. I'm not sure because that should not happen. That's a very very simple thing. You are adding few days to date, and the result should be a date only. But not sure.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
suggest me to reinstall it just in case?
Yes, you can. So have you installed the VM, the virtual machine? Whatever
No,
I
I,
have.
I
No.
installed it on my desktop.
Uh, okay. You can go ahead and reinstall, but make sure that so when any of you guys are reinstalling the tool, right? And if you have worked upon a lot of this process and object, make sure you remember your connection name and database name. Otherwise, all your whatever you have worked upon will be wiped out. Okay. So you have to
Mhm.
basically you can basically install everything. If you install Blue Prism 6 also, that is fine. You can use the same data of Blue Prism 5 if the database is supporting. So there are some difference between 5 and 6 again. Blue Prism 6 sometimes say that the database is outdated for this version. But anyway, if you are uninstalling Blue Prism 5, make sure that you like remember the connection name and database name and you reuse that so that you get all your data. If you don't have much data in the process and object studio, you can go ahead and create a new connection and this one DB instance. Okay, so you can try to do that once because that is something very that is something that should not happen actually.
Okay. Did
Okay,
you actually upload the version 6?
I'll upload it today. Okay,
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
version 6 I'll upload. Give me just 1 minute, I'm getting a call. Yeah, sorry, I had to attend a call. So yeah, Sagar, do that. I'll share the version 6, so you can use the version 6, and you can try this in version 6 otherwise. Okay then.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So for version 6, there are some licensing issues. So I'll tell you how to run that. There is a software I used to run Blue Prism software through another software. So you can use that, and I'll show you, how to use that. Let me show, if it is possible, I'll show you to all of you people, so that if any of you want to work in version 6, then you can do that. Let me switch on the machine. So I'll share the version 6 today. So there are very minor difference between version 5 and 6 visually, but performance wise, it seems they have made some improvement. And like that is something you cannot see. That is, if you are working in a real-time environment, you'll be able to see that. And they have provided some more steps to connect to some of the cloud solution, like AWS and all of that stuff. So that is another difference. Otherwise, there are very minor differences. Okay, so what you will do is, when you install, I hope all of you are able to see my virtual machine screen. This is my virtual machine. So here I have installed, I guess, version 6. Not sure, if I open it, then I'll be able to know it. So what you need to do is, once you install, once you install Blue Prism version 6, you can use the same license that I have provided you. The version 5 license, you can use the same license here. Let me know if the license is not working. I have another license and we can try with that. And once you successfully install version 6, then you can use a tool called run as date. You can download this run as date. What this does is, it will individually decides a date for each of the tool. So people who I have provided launch.bat file to backdate your system, and then it was getting reset to the current date, right? So instead of that, you can also use this run as date. You can go ahead and download run as date from Chrome. It is available for downloading. You can just say run as date software download for your machine. You can download it from here, and then you double click that run as date, run, and application to run. You can choose which application you want to run. Then I'm using the uh, Blue Prism application, so I'll just select this automate. Inside C program files, Blue Prism Limited, Blue Prism Automate, and then there is this icon called Automate. So I'll select that because that is my exe file of the application. Open it. And what date you want to run to, you can choose here. So for example, I want to run this on 2017 January, some date in January, like 31st January, and whatever time you want, you can choose to run this. And if you run as administrator, okay. Okay, it seems I have a 64-bit version. So basically, whatever you have, if you have a 64-bit machine, you need a 64-bit run as date, 32-bit machine, 32-bit run as date. So you download that. I have downloaded the wrong one, and you try to run that. So it will run fine. And it should open the Blue Prism in that mode. Okay, whatever date you choose, in that date it will open, but it will not change your system date, so you'll still be able to access internet. So let me check if it is version. Oh, this is still version 5. So I have installed version 6 somewhere else. Okay, so I'll provide you that, and you run that through run as date software, and it will work fine. I wanted to show the differences between 5 and 6, but I guess I have uninstalled and installed version 5. So sometime, maybe in the next weekend, I'll show you and walk you through the version 6 and let you know about the differences between version 5 and 6. We'll have a comparison. Okay. Okay then. So let me just close this. Okay. Okay then. So for the second assignment, guys, you can go ahead and try that. But I have already done that. I'll provide you the solution otherwise. Okay. So now let's go to the next module, which is the Windows automation part. Today we'll start with the Windows automation, and we'll see how much we can cover. And after that, we'll see a few examples in Windows automation. Then I'll provide you an assignment, and later on I can provide you 2 assignments, and later we can move to the web automation. So for Windows automation, let me create a new so any doubts so far, because we are moving to a another module completely. Till this point of time, any doubts any one of you have, then you can let me know. Otherwise, we can go ahead. Okay, let's discuss that then. So for Windows automation, what we'll do is, for that part, we'll go to Object Studio and discuss about objects. So till this point, we have been discussing about processes. Okay, how processes work, then different modules of the process. So again, there are a few modules which we have not discussed yet. We'll talk about that. For example, the block stage here. The block stage, exception, recover, resume, these are the things we have not discussed yet. Alert and node. So node is very basic, nothing. You can create a new node. That's it. So if you want to, it's like sticky note kind of thing. If you want to tell something about this process, you can create a new node that this process does something. Or if you want to provide a node to some other developer who is going to work, that this process has been the IP address for this process has been changed to this. Don't change the IP address till further instruction by yourself, something like this. You can provide any nodes here using the node stage. There is nothing here. It doesn't do any functional parts here, the node. The other stuff, the block, and then the last 4, we'll talk about this maybe in the next weekend. Okay, and this is also present in the your Object Studio also. So we'll cover all this. So let's talk about the Object Studio, because that is something we have not talked about yet. So today we are going to start the Object Studio, because till now we had been discussing this one. So what I'm going to do is okay. Did I just started about Object Studio in the last class? Because I have created one sample app. Okay. So the way to create. Okay. So the way to create the object will be the same. Right click and create the object. So there is nothing more here. Same way. So I have created this, for example, window app object in the last class, I guess, in your folder, June 9 to 11 folder. So I'm just opening that up. And here there are 3 pages: initialize, cleanup, and action. And action is the main page. So this is where your process will start. So there can be multiple pages here. In fact, we'll create multiple pages here. Action 1, action 2, whatever pages we want, we'll be creating here based on our need. Okay. And initialize and cleanup are like before the action 1 will run, before the module gets executed. So there are 2 stages before this object will start running, and after the loading of the object. So first the object will load to the memory, and then it will start running. So once it is loaded to the memory for execution, that time whatever you have written in initialize, that will run, and before finishing its execution, all the cleanup activity will run. So we don't have much control over the cleanup and initialize. However, at an advanced stage, you can write some code here. In global code, you can write either your VBA code or C# code here, and you can run it at a global mode. So from anywhere inside the page, you can create new pages here, and you can refer to the code. Okay, but writing code is something we are not going to discuss anytime soon. That is something we'll check later at the kind of end of the training only, because that will be very confusing if we start writing codes here. Okay. Just just so that you know that in the initialize we can write some global code which can be referenced from anywhere inside the Object Studio. Okay, and this particular code, whatever you write here, that will be executed when the object loads into the memory, and before it executes that particular time it will be executed, the initialize. So you can read this. It's a nice description about the initialize space, what the initialize space does, how when it gets loaded, and the cleanup activity will be run after the execution of the object. So there is nothing here. This is just two. So it will run by itself. Okay, Blue Prism takes care of few of the cleanup activity, like closing some open instance if you have forgotten to close that, or closing some database connection if you have forgotten to choose that. All kinds of closing connections, then removing some few things from memory which are not used. These are the internal stuff that is taken care by Blue Prism only as a part of the cleanup activity. We don't have to worry about what cleanup activity Blue Prism performs internally. Okay, so this is the major difference between the Object Studio and Process Studio. Also, we have 3 pages: initialize, cleanup, and then action 1. Hi Jitu. Jitu, you're on the call. Okay, so let's talk more about this, and we'll be automating a Windows application today, and we'll see different modes of automation today. Okay, so mostly what will happen is whenever we are interacting with so how will you take a decision? How will you know that you have to use the Object Studio or Process Studio? Okay, if you are a beginner, then you may have this question: how will I know that I have to use a Process Studio or Object Studio? Because it looks exactly same, and I can do the same things whatever I can do in the Process Studio. So for example, whatever I did in the Process Studio, for example Excel sheet automation, I can start doing it here also. Drag and drop an action stage, double click, choose the MS Excel VBO from here, or email POP3 and choose configure. Okay, or choose send message. This is something we did in the Process Studio also. So how will you take a decision that you have to start doing it in the Process Studio or Object Studio? The answer is very simple. If you are interacting with a third-party application and there is no VBO for that, so for example, all of this one, this email POP3 SMTP, then MS Excel VBO, or whatever collection manipulation or MS Excel VBO that we worked, all of these are one VBO. So the actual interaction with the Excel sheet or email client, which are third-party applications. So here the Excel sheet that we worked upon, or the email list that we work upon, sending email, those are third-party application. Okay, so how we'll interact with the third-party application, we have to define rules. Okay, so if how the create instance functionality will work, how the write to collection will work, how the copy rows from one Excel sheet to another will work. So to do all this, our Blue Prism tool has to interact with the Excel sheet, and it has to do some work. So all of the like business rules, business logic will write in the Object Studio. So here, if you go here in the email POP3 SMTP, everything is written here. See, these are part of object. These are part of object. So email POP3 SMTP, all the like send message, delete message, everything, all the logic is written here. Similarly, so this is email. So now what we are going to do is, we are not going to automate email or Excel sheet, but what we'll do, we'll choose to select any third-party application, right? Like I'll provide you an exe file, so that is also a third-party application. So the business logic to automate that will write in the Object Studio, something like this, and we will use all these pages in the Process Studio. Remember, when we'll drag and drop in the Process Studio like this, we'll choose email POP3 and action as send email or configure. So this is what we are going to do next. We are going to create objects like this to interact with the third-party application. So all the business logic that will be used to interact with the third-party application and how to automate all the core business logic will always remain in the Object Studio. However, once you completed your all the Object Studio, writing your Object Studio, then you can go ahead to the Process Studio to use those in the action stage. So basically all these pages are used in the action stage only. Okay, are you clear about where to use the Object Studio and Process Studio? Will you be able to take a decision where to start it? Any doubts if you have? So basically whenever you get some requirement in your company, basically you have to start from the Object Studio, not in the Process Studio. So in your company, for example, you get a requirement to automate any web application, or some Java application, or some SAP tool or Salesforce tool where a lot of processing is being happening in your company and you are supposed to automate that. So if the project is happening from scratch and you are the one starting it, then you always have to create a new Object Studio first, a new object. Why? Because all the rules to interact with the third-party application we have to define in the Object Studio. Whenever we are interacting with those third-party application, we have to use the Object Studio only. The Process Studio cannot do that. Okay, that is the reason we'll always start from the Object Studio, and then we'll go to the Process Studio to connect all the functionality. Okay, so so this is created. This is something I have created, Windows App Object, and here let's start to automate stuff. Okay, so again, all the stages are there. Few of the extra stages like we have is read, write, navigate, code, and wait. These 5 stages are there in the like Object Studio, which is not present in the Process Studio. And Application Modeler is the main engine behind the Object Studio, by using which we are going to like automate our third-party application. Okay, so here in this class, what we'll do is we'll automate an Windows application training order system. Okay, we are going to automate this particular exe file, and we are going to automate this particular exe file. And as an assignment, I'm going to provide you also another exe file. So there is something called calculator. You can take this as an assignment, this exe file, and we'll see a demo of this exe file today. So today we'll talk about the Windows. These are Windows applications. So basically we can automate any kind of Windows application. These are direct exe file. You can also automate all the exe files that are installed in your C drive. So C, program files, and all of these are installed, right? Java, then some Oracle tools, Windows Media Player, your torrent files, VLC, whatever you want to automate. Anything that is present in the program files which is installed in your laptop, you can choose to automate that. Okay, so let's see how to do that automation. So what I will do is, let me show you what we are trying to automate here. So double click, I'm double clicking in this training order system, double click, run this. So here it's a what do you say, like order system. When we order something in the store, it's something like that. So basically we'll be creating orders, and we'll be viewing new orders, and we'll be viewing existing order and all of that stuff. Okay, there are a lot of functionality here. So this screen is for login functionality. It's a Windows login functionality. This is something like, it's a very small, but something like that is used in the supermarket. If you go to different supermarket, when you purchase something, they give you a bill, right? So they have their software running in the desktop. That is a desktop software where they enter all the items and the price, and they click enter, and based on something, it's like Tally. Okay, so you can automate tallies and stuff also. So basically they log in and they create bills, and they generate new orders also. They view existing orders also. Oh, you cannot see my screen. Uh, I'm not sure. Others are able to view my screen. I was showing a training order system.
Yeah, I can.
I can't see the screen. I can see only the canvas, like, you just open the objects to do, that's it. I can't see the screen, but I can hear you properly. I'm not sure why it got stuck.
Okay. So it will be most probably something from your side. Do you want to rejoin this? Because do you have a good internet connection?
Yeah, I have a good internet connection. I'll just rejoin within 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah, sure. Rejoin,
Yeah,
we'll be discussing the basic ones.
yeah, sure. You go ahead, I'll
Yeah.
just rejoin in between that.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure. Disconnect and
Okay,
rejoin.
yeah.
Can we discuss last week's assignments? Yeah, Jitu, actually we discussed last week's assignment. Initially, actually we waited for you, but that is fine. So I'll provide the solution, and maybe at the end of the class I'll just briefly walk you through what was done in the assignments for 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll upload the solution. So in this example, what we'll do is, so you can extend this example to any Windows application. The behavior is going to same. So here, how to log in? Provide the, so just look at what I am providing here. So the staff number I'm providing is 1 and the password is 1. So basically what we have to do is we have to automate this. Basically we should open it automatically, and staff number should get a value of 1 and password is 1 automatically, and sign in button should be clicked. If you click this, you have few options here: add new order, view existing order, and quit the system. So if you do add new order 1 and click on go, you'll be asked to add new order here: product code, number, unit price, cost center, and submit order. Okay, so you can add new order here. Okay, and you can also, I'm closing this, you can also view existing order. So for example, if I enter 2 here and click on go, it will ask you to enter the order number and retrieve order. So you'll get all the information here. So let me enter some order number and let's check. So for example, order number is 1, order number 1 I have entered, and I'm getting all this: product code, unit order, unit price, and everything. Okay. So one thing what I'm not sure is, when you are adding a new order here, I'm not sure it will be stored somewhere or something, because I don't have a any XML file with this with this particular exe file. Otherwise it would have stored. So you can go ahead and try add new order if you are able to so if you are adding a new order, for example 101 is the product code, we need 10 piece of that, and each unit is 100 rupees, for example, or 100 euro. Cost center is, for example, Bangalore or something. And so this is a new order. I'm creating a new order, submit order. So it is creating a new window. Please take note of your order reference 287. Okay, then continue. So you can take this part as an assignment, add new order. What I'm going to automate is, now in this example, is I'm going to launch the system. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to click view existing order, then enter order number, and then read the order number data. This sequence I'm going to, where we are going to automate now. The other sequence are also there. For example, add new order, you can go ahead and do these by yourself. Okay, this is going to be same. So if you take this sequence, add new order, you will get this new window. Please take note of your reference is some 287. You can click continue here, and if I now enter 101, because sorry, view existing order 2, order number was 101, right? So whatever we just created now, that was 101. If I do retrieve order, let's see. Okay, we are able to get that, but the thing is that it is some different data, not the one we created. See, because what we ordered is 10 and 100. So it is not getting stored properly because I don't have a storage system associated with this properly or something, but that is absolutely fine. You can go ahead and try. The only aim of this is to, are we able to automate this? We don't care about, what product code we are getting or what cost center we are getting. This is just extra information. Okay. So what we'll try in this example is we will launch this exe file, double click, then we will enter staff number as 1, password as 1, click on sign in button. Then in this screen, click on view existing order 2. And then in this screen, in the new screen, in the order number, we'll go here and enter 1, for example. Then click on this button, retrieve order. Then once we get that, so again, it is taking some time for this to be reflected. You see, it took around 2 seconds to be reflected. So we'll see concepts of, like, if it is taking much time, we'll see how to handle, dynamic wait time. It will wait for, some time for this to be populated. And then, if possible, we'll try to read few of this data and store it in the product code and unit order. We'll try to read it and we'll store it in some data item. Okay. So this is the requirement to automate this one. So let's do that. Again, it's a simple application. In real time, you are going to get application, way complex than this. But again, the behavior, the way to automate is going to be exactly same. Only thing is that you need to, calculate a lot of extra steps. With, apart from these 2 fields, you can have like 20 or 30 fields also sometimes to enter data. Okay. Okay then. So we are going to, because this is a third-party application and we are going to open it up. So we are going to use the Object Studio for this. A Process Studio cannot, open a third-party application. We always have to use the Object Studio. So the first step will be to go to Application Modeler. I'm not sure why she didn't join. Wait. Okay, so the first step will be to we'll configure the application modeler. So this is the first step. Always remember, we have to start from application modeler in the Object Studio, nothing else. So I'm clicking the application modeler. Define a new application model. What is the name of the application? So you can choose to provide a different name for this application, but I normally stick to the same name of the object only, but you can change this name also. Windows App Object. Okay, go to next. So here there are 4 options. What you are trying to automate. Is it a Windows application or Java based or browser based and mainframe based? So you have to choose any of this to, or one sec. So you have to choose, out of these 4 options. So if it is basically a website like facebook.com, then or google.com, it will be a browser based. If it is a Java application, we'll see about all kinds of application. We'll see example of browser based, Java based, mainframe based, and today we are seeing about Windows based. So based on the type of application that you are automating, you have to choose one of these options. Just 1 minute. She's facing some problem joining, so let me check. Just give me a minute. Okay. So in our case, it's a Windows-based application. So I'm selecting this and going to next. And there are two options here. So how will I know that which application will be I want to launch? There are a lot of Windows application. Like how will we know that which Windows application we are talking about? So for that, we need to provide the path of the exe file that we are going to automate. So there are two ways we can launch the exe file. One is my application is launched from an executable file. So this here I am directly specifying the exe file of the application. So it will basically launch the exe file. Second is my application is already be running. I want to attach to an existing instance. So normally I don't choose the second one because it is again recursively like referring to the first one also. Let me show you that. So for example, okay, let's go ahead and do that. So for example, let's say my application is launched from an exe file, okay, and let's suppose I'm trying to automate VLC website here, vlc.com, sorry, vlc.exe, okay. The VLC media player I am trying to automate, for example, VLC media player. So what I will do to automate the VLC media player, I have to provide the exe file. So I'm going to next, and here I have to provide the path of the VLC exe file. So go to browse, then program files, and somewhere video LAN, and here you can choose the vlc.exe. So this is the VLC media player exe file, and this is where it will be automated, the VLC. So the second option is my application will already be running. My application will already be running. I want to attach to an existing instance. Okay. What this one is that I am telling is that my application is already running. So this is my VLC media player. I am telling is that my application currently is running in the system. You can take an instance from that and you can try to attach to that instance. So now if I go to the tool and click next, and here,
can you hear me?
Yeah, Arun, I can hear you.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm telling, it is telling it that my application is already running. Yes, my application is running. The VLC is running currently. So what is the name of the? If I go next, it is asking me the window title of the target application. What is the window title? VLC Media Player. So I have to write that here. VLC Media Player. Go to next. Enter the window process name of the target application. How to get the process name? Control Shift Escape, I guess, for Task Manager. Yeah, Control Shift Escape, and you get the processes, right? All the processes that are running. So the name of the process, which is again VLC Media Player. So VLC Media Player, and go to next. If I go to next, then what it is telling? If not found for attaching, your application may be launched automatically if desired. Enter the path of your application executable or leave it blank to receive an error in this situation. So it is telling us that Blue Prism thinks that this method where I need to enter the application name is not effective, and Blue Prism may fail to launch this. In that case, as a safeguard, it is asking me to provide the path of the exe file. But if you go back here, we can do the same thing, the exact same thing here. The path of the exe file, which is 100% guarantees us that the application will be launched. So why to go to this process and again provide a safe path for this at the end? So this is the reason I don't choose this one. I always choose my application is launched from an exe file, and I provide the path of the exe file so that it gets launched every time 100%. Okay, but there are some usages of this. This is like this is there for a reason. For example, And again, I don't choose this because to process, so this is a VLC media player. There can be another, Windows install one with VLC media player also. So Blue Prism will be confused which one to launch because it is launching based on the name. Okay, that is also one of the disadvantages. Only one place where it is effective is there are a few like situation where it may not be launched from an exe file, or oh yeah, that's better now. Okay, so few places it is effective is where we don't have the exe file, or we are not able to find the exe file. That time you can choose to do that. So for example, if you have any Windows application, so in Windows 10, if you install any application, normally they don't get directly installed in the program files. Okay, and sometimes you don't know where those are installed. For example, this converter, if I get this converter, I don't know where this converter is installed, your converter, because certainly this is not installed in my program file. Things that are get installed in program files are whatever I install. So whatever I double click and install, everything is installed in program file. But I'm not sure where this Windows 10 application are installed. So in those case, I can choose to go ahead with the naming thing. Okay, your converter or something. Or if something is coming in between, a new pop-up kind of thing is coming in between, and there is no exe file for that, and we can do something in that regard. But most of the cases where you know the exe file path, you should go ahead with the first option. Okay. Again, this can be a very good application to automate also. If you are able to find your converter like application, if anyone you are using the Windows 10, then you can go ahead and take this also as an example, and you can try to automate this also. Okay, so you can choose any application. You can download application from internet and automate that also. Or if you have any real-time application in your like company also, you can download that in your local computer, personal computer, and you can automate that. Okay then. So what we'll choose is my application is launched from an exe file. Go to next, and here we are. Let me choose that is in my desktop, training order system. This is something that we are going to automate. Training order system. Open, then click next. So here the second option is enter the command line parameters, if any, to be passed to the target application. So here we don't have any command line parameter. So what command line parameters are is there are a few applications where we need to pass some commands in the why people. Debayan, you are in the call. Are you able to hear me? If you are able to hear me, then the demo is scheduled as 12 o'clock. This is some other batch, so you can join at 12 o'clock today after around 1.5 hours. Just 1 minute. So a few people are joining from 12 o'clock now. I'm not sure why. They're running in some other time zone or something. So enter the command line parameters, if any. So we don't have any command line parameters. So few of the programs needs to be passed some commands in the runtime. So most probably, if you're launching some program and they have some like integrated, they need to take some command line parameters. Okay, from the command prompt, or if they have a console, normally they will be taking some command line parameters to run. So if you are, at the runtime only, if you are planning to send some username or password or IP address in the command line, those applications you can enter the command line parameters if any. Here we don't have any command line parameter. So if you have any command line parameter, it will already be documented that to run this application you need command line parameters. Most probably, like 90-95% of the time you won't see such application where you need command line parameters. If any, they will be provide you with all the data that goes with the command line parameter. Okay, go to next. Enter the working directory which the target application will use. Our application will not use any working directory because we are simply automating a simple exe file. Okay, so if your application is using some third-party folder for something, then you can choose to like enter the directory, working directory of the target application that you'll use. But here we'll leave it as blank also. Restrict to non-evasive automation technique. This is for a security purpose, and so for unnecessary automation someone is trying to do in some other way, then Blue Prism internally may detect something and maybe try to restrict that. This I always check it. Okay, I don't actually understand how internally they do it or not, but I always keep this checked so that Blue Prism takes care of it few things by itself. Okay, so restrict to non-invasive automation techniques. Click next, and this is also I'll put as default because see, this is the application manager mode. So it is telling that which mode to run on. So if you are a 64-bit laptop, you can choose this, or 32-bit, you can choose this. Whatever is your external OS address size, whatever you have, you can choose this. But most of the time, you go ahead with embedded default one because Blue Prism internally detects what is your operating system, 64-bit, 32-bit, and it knows everything about the system. So always go with embedded default. No need to manually choose 64-bit or 32-bit. Go with embedded default. So and click finish. Okay, and whatever settings you did just now, once you finish it, everything is available here. If you click this parent one, it is available here. Name, exe file path, and we have put everything as default. This one, this one, this one, this one. Everything is present here. If you choose to change something from here, you can go ahead and change it. Okay. Any doubts for the configuration of the Windows application? Any doubts here? No? Okay. So just give me 1 minute. Okay. So here, once we get that, what we'll do is we'll try to find out all the fields that we are going to automate for that file. So what I'll do, I'll go to element 1, or you can do it from here also. Basically, I'm going to launch it from here. Okay. So either you can launch it from here, or you can go to element 1 also, or launch it from here. So basically, it will launch the exe file. So let's launch it. So it launched from here. Okay. Now you can ask one question: why we are launching from here? Is it absolutely necessary to launch it from here? Can we not launch from here and try to capture different instance of this one directly from the Blue Prism tool? The answer is no. We cannot, run the instance manually by ourselves, and we cannot automate that. Okay, it has to be launched from the Blue Prism tool, from this button, or from this button, same launch. It has to be launched from the Blue Prism tool, and one minute. Okay, so it has to be launched from here, otherwise Blue Prism won't have any way to know that where it is launched, and it will not be able to capture different fields of that application. So I'm launching it from here. Okay, so it got launched, the exe file got launched. So what is the first thing we need up? So the first step is launch the application. Second step is enter 1 to here, enter 1 to here, and then sign in. Second step, third step, fourth step. Okay, enter 1 here, enter 1 here, and then click on sign in. So what I'll do is, to enter 1 here, I need to know what this field is. I need to tell Blue Prism where I want to enter 1. So I need to identify this field, because there can be hundreds of fields in this application. So this is one, this is one, this is one. But I need to tell Blue Prism where exactly I want to enter 1 out of all these fields. So I need to take the attributes and identify this particular field in the runtime. So what I will do to identify this field, which field it is, what I will do, I'll click on the identify button. So let me rename it to staff number, because we are going to identify staff number here. Now let's find out this staff number field. So what I'll do, I'll click on identify. Okay, just concentrate on here, because this is the first time you're looking at this, and it may be confusing if you don't know how to automate this. What are the different buttons you need to click? So click on identify. Once you click on identify, you see on my left screen, on the screen, there is some I don't know this, what is pink color thing that is there, and it is written Windows 32 mode. Okay, so if you press Alt in your keyboard, it will navigate you to different modes of automation. So I have Windows 32 mode, then accessibility mode, region mode. I am changing this by pressing the Alt key in my keyboard. Okay, so there are other modes as well. So we'll see about HTML mode, then Java mode. There are a lot of different modes based on the type of application that you are automating. Because this is a Windows application, we are going to stick with Windows 32 mode. In upcoming classes, we'll see real-time examples of accessibility mode, region mode, and everything. We'll see examples for every types of mode. For now, because all types of Windows application will be done through Windows 32 mode only. There are some exceptions that we'll discuss later, but let's consider the Windows 32 mode for Windows application for now. So once I am in Windows 32 mode, what I will do is, I will take my cursor here. As you can see, wherever I am taking my cursor, it is highlighting with red. It means that all these fields I'll be able to identify. I'll be able to capture. So see here, the cross button. I'm not able to put a red mark at the border of cross button, so I won't be able to close it automatically by clicking it here. However, I'll be able to enter few here because it is highlighting. I'll be able to enter here, I'll be able to click here. I can do all of that stuff. Okay, so wherever it is highlighting, you can get the attributes of those fields. Okay, so what we need here, staff number field. So what I will do to get all the attributes of staff number field so that Blue Prism can identify the staff number field in the runtime, what I have to do, I have to go here in the highlighted area. I have to put my mouse. Press the control button of your keyboard and then left click. Control, left click. Okay. So control, left click. Once you click that, it will give you a list of attributes. Okay. So you can click on this match column to identify what are the matched attribute. Okay. So what are these attributes we'll discuss now. Just 1 minute. So these are the attributes using which Blue Prism finds out which field we are referring to. Okay, window text, visible, screen enable. There are a lot of these fields. Let's check, how we can is this list correct? So this list may not be correct. It is just a list of items, and out of this list of items, you have to choose the selective one to get this particular field. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing few. For example, say window text is blank. Okay. But there are multiple windows text which is blank. So how will I know based on the window text? I'll not be able to know, right? So there are multiple attributes. For example, screen visible is true, X and Y coordinates. There are a lot of stuff, but we won't be able to rely upon, for example, X and Y coordinate, because if it is here and if it is moved to here, it will not work because X and Y coordinates are changed. Here the X and Y coordinates are different, here different, right? So we need to find out the exact values where it works. So let's try. So we can highlight also. If it is highlighting fine, we can choose to highlight if this is what we have identified correct. See, when I'm highlighting, it is highlighting 2 cells and giving me a warning, more than 1 matching window found. So this is not correct. It should highlight only 1, staff number only. Okay. So let's see how we can do that. So let's remove this window text one because this is empty, no use for us. And let's 1 minute. So this is no use for us, and these also do not have much value. Visible true, screen visible true, enable true. These are these are like very common one. Now class name, we have class name Windows Form 10.edit. Okay, but this class name will also be the same class name for this one also, edit class name, because these are editable field. Okay, we can also highlight it here. It is highlighting too. So we are still not, we have not got our result. It should highlight the upper one. So let's see what is the unique one about this field. Okay, let's scroll down. So this is the way you also have to analyze. Okay, and this analysis is not static. You won't get a direct answer from this analysis. You have to analyze by yourself. So let's see where we can get something. See, X and Y coordinate we cannot rely. Width we cannot rely because it can be of this width and this width are same. So again, you don't need to understand most of this, because these are like specific to Windows, because these are like coming from Windows application, and this list will be different from different modes. So there will be 100 of data like this. I will exactly tell you what kind of value you should be looking to, so that you can directly go ahead and choose those things. Okay, instead of going here and there. So you can choose to check everything, but I will tell you where exactly you need to go to in case of Windows application, so that you can always choose that. However, you can just browse through other options also. So parent window text is sign in. See, this is sign in. Sign in is written here, which is in the parent this one. So it is no use for us. What I will do by taking this. So there are different options. There is one option called ordinal. So let's click ordinal here, and let's see if we are able to, ordinal has a value of 3. Okay, and it looks unique because the value is 3. It can be 4, 5, anything. And we'll compare ordinal of this and this. We'll check if it is different. So I have clicked ordinal, then again match. So now I'm matching with visible, screen visible, and ordinal. So now if I try to highlight, it is highlighting 1. That means that ordinal value made the difference. So if I remove this also, visible, screen visible, enabled, and all this, let's see. Okay, I'm just relying upon ordinal and class name. Highlight, it is highlighting fine. So it means that my ordinal value is sufficient to get this one, and this is the only unique things in this list of items. Okay, if there is something else you can try, this is most probably is going to be a hit and trial initially, but once you do once you keep doing the Windows automation, you'll be able to know which are the consistent bit. For example, I know that ordinal is ordinal most of the time it remains unique because I have done a lot of automation in Windows. So that is the reason I know that ordinal normally becomes remains unique. There is something called match index and match reverse. This also remains unique most of the time. We'll discuss how these things are calculated later, but just just assume that your match index will also be able to identify. So this is basically takes the index of this value and calculates. Okay, how it is done internally, you don't have to worry because all these attributes are Windows attributes. How the screen visible, what is true and false, what is class name, then what if we select all the fields? Yeah, so you can select all the fields. So is there any select all stuff? So the problem with all the fields sometimes will be that multiple fields will, if we select all the fields, the number of, it can sometimes be, the list may be long, okay, and it can be repetitive. So for example, repetitive, when I say, when you select all the fields, what Blue Prism does is, it goes one by one, okay, it checks ordinal, class name, X, Y, it will check everything. And this is a simple application, and in your application, for example, if you have 100 attributes to identify this, and 98 more like this, and for each button, if you are going through a list of like 20, then it's a very long list for Blue Prism to calculate, and it's a lot of time consuming. So always try to take make the list very minimal. So with the minimum set of attributes, whatever you are able to find out the particular field, try to choose that. Obviously, you can go ahead and do everything and see how it is happening, but again, without needing this, we don't need this thing. Blue Prism will unnecessarily check whatever you check here. Whatever you click here, Blue Prism will check those fields. So it is an unnecessary time waste for Blue Prism to go everywhere. Okay. Again, this list can be way more, like 50, 40. You can choose to highlight. You see, unable to match any Windows with the query item because you have selected way more. Okay. So a lot of things can have very common things in between. So don't select unnecessarily everything. Either you will get error or Blue Prism will unnecessarily check everything without needing that. So choose a set of minimum attribute using which you are able to uniquely identify the fields. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can clear that to clear it up. You can identify again. Control and left click. It will give you this, and I'll just choose class name and ordinal. This one. Also, I can override this by identifying again. It is telling me, do you need to override the whole stuff again? You can do that. Okay, so this may be something initially it may be a little confusing for you, that how will I know that I have to choose ordinal or class name out of all this field, because it may not always be ordinal. In some cases it may be something else. That is something which will come through practice only, and around most of the cases you will get your result through ordinal. Based on my experience, it will be ordinal, class name. Sometimes it will be what is that? Match reverse and match index. So these 3-4 will be mostly able to uniquely identify all of your fields uniquely. Okay. So use that, practice few stuffs, then you'll be able, you'll be comfortable. Otherwise, the rest of the items, most of the items are basically common for everything. Okay. Now that we have identified the staff number, let's highlight. It's highlighting fine. We'll highlight the password now. We'll identify password. So what I'll do, I'll add a new element here. Add element, name it as password. Click identify. Windows 32 mode. Control in your keyboard and left click. Again, the same thing. I'm going to remove a lot of stuff here and click the ordinal value. See, ordinal value is 2 here. What was the ordinal value initially? It was 3. This ordinal is 2. Here our ordinal value is 3. So it's very unique, for each of the field. So you are safe here. Highlight is highlighting fine. What is the next thing I need to highlight? Sign in button. So add element, sign in, identify, control left click. Then okay, we can take the window text also, because this is the window text sign in here. Let's see if it is identifying this sign in also. It's highlighting fine. So see here, with the default list, whatever Blue Prism provides us, it's highlighting fine. So you can stick to this. There is no need to change this. Okay. If you want, you can always go ahead and check the ordinal value. See, ordinal is 1 here. The previous ordinal were 2 and 3. So if we take the ordinal also, only ordinal, we'll be able to identify this. But Blue Prism is taking the name-based, text-based, approach, window text, sign in. If there are 2 sign in, there are 2 buttons with the name sign in, it will fail. That case, you have to go with the ordinal thing. Okay, you got here how I'm doing it. That is the way you have to do. Okay. So we're done with identifying all this. Next, what we'll identify is the next screen. So for example, 1 I enter here. This I'm doing manually. 1, sign in. Now I need to identify this field. Okay, this particular field. So how will I identify? Same way, identify. Sorry, add a new element. This is called option number. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay, the same way we'll do here. Option number, identify, control and left click. Then I got all this here. See, I don't have any option. If I highlight, oh, it's highlighting fine. Then that should be fine. Let's see, but with which attribute it is highlighting. But again, it is not advisable how it is identifying. See here, window text is blank, and this is the only blank field here. Previously, there are 2 blank fields. One is for the username and one is for password or something. 2 blank fields, so it was wrong. Here only 1 blank field. Window text is blank here, so it is relying upon that. So let's see if we have ordinal and we are able to do it with ordinal. We'll use that because it may not be reliable. So let's check with ordinal. Okay, ordinal is failing here. See, two things are coming. So ordinal is not right here. So either you can go ahead with the window text. So window text will work here because only 1 blank value is there. Ordinal is failing because because there are two it is showing duplicate items, 1 here and 1 here. So this is the way you have to do. There is no definite way. You have to just try different stuffs here. So most of the times match index also works, match index and match reverse. Okay, it's also not working. So we have to go with the window text stuff then. So many of the time, if you are automating a new window application, then you will get all this error. To identify this, you may face a lot of duplicates. So basically, you have to identify which are the correct ones. Let's reverse. Okay, with this set of attribute also, I am able to find out. So normally, as I told, either through ordinal or through match index or match reverse, you will be able to do. So see here, class name, let's put as default. Okay, with class name only also I'll be able to do because I have only one field. So if I remove match index also, most probably, okay, I'm not able to do because it is showing some other fields here which does not exist. Not sure why. See, there are no fields here, but it is showing. So anyway, for safeguarding purpose, let's click match index, highlight. It's highlighting fine, or whatever was there before, the window text. You can go with the window text. Okay, whatever was there before, you can go to identify, override this, control and left click. With this set of attribute, if you highlight, it is highlighting fine. So either you can stick to this set of attributes, window text visible till class name, or you can remove this and rely upon class name and class name and match index. That will also work fine. Okay, I think those are username and password. The previous one you are telling, right? In the main screen. Sorry, staff number and password, not username and password. Okay, so this is the way you have to identify it. Okay, so I am going with this one and match index, working fine for me. Okay, so once we do this, let me highlight the go button also. So let's add a new element here. Let's name it as go button. Identify. Click on control, then left click, then go button. So window text is go, so it should be fine. Let's see again. So it should be fine because only one window text with go button. Again, you can rely upon other stuff based on your choice. Okay, with ordinal and match index you can take and test, but it is fine with this list, so I'm sticking to this. Apply and okay. So I'm going to close this now because I have identified 5 stuff. So I will not have time to identify other ones today. Otherwise I would have shown you that. We'll continue with that tomorrow. So I have identified 5 ones: start number, password, sign in, option number, go button. Let's do some automation with this. Click on OK here. Let's close this. So first we will launch it. First thing is this launching of this. So let's launch it. So here Windows App Object. What I'll do is how to launch something. You have to use navigation for launch. Navigate. Okay. This is something I guess it was not present in the Process Studio. Navigate. Double click. Name it as launch training order system. Then you have to drag and drop this one. For launching, you have to drag and drop the main window because you are launching the main application. Drag and drop it to the element here. This is the element we are going to launch. Action is launch. There are other actions also. Global send key event. There are other stuff. We'll discuss about this whenever necessary. In the future, we'll talk about the differences between all of this, and we'll see others. For now, we are going to launch it. We're going to launch the application. Click on OK here and just connect it. Reset. Oh God, what happened? There's one error here. Row 1 contains an argument new text. Okay. Let me just close this and let's test we are able to launch it or not. So sometimes in the version 5, you will get some errors, and the error actually doesn't exist. It will get you some wrong error. So whatever error you are getting here, this is the error I told you, right? Wherever you are seeing, and a lot of the error are repairable by itself, and Blue Prism can repair them by by itself. So there is a repair all button. Let's see if Blue Prism is able to repair it by itself. So repair all, and you see here there is no error now. Okay, the action error gone. So Blue Prism was able to repair the error. So there will be few errors which doesn't make sense at all. Okay, you know that there is no such error, but Blue Prism will showing that as an error. So most probably that is some internal error, and you can click on repair all. Blue Prism will take care of this. Close. There are no errors now. Okay, you understood this part? If it is self-repairable, then repair all, and Blue Prism will take care of itself. Okay, close it and reset, and let's try to run this. Okay, so we are able to launch it from here. Okay, so what I will do in this demo, for every major action, I'm going to create one separate pages, and later we'll combine all the pages. We'll see where we are creating multiple pages. So for here, let's rename it to launch application. This is where I am launching. This is my launch page. Once it is launched, I'm going to create another page. So go to new, and let's name it as enter staff number. Initially I'm doing it multiple pages for a single action. Later on we'll do everything in one page only. Okay, enter staff number, click OK here. So let's run this. If I run it, okay, reset, and see again error is there, missing link. Okay, missing link here. Okay, it launched. Now what we want to enter staff number here, right? Enter staff number. So I have just created a new page for this. Okay, I can choose to write both staff number and password here only, or I could have done that here in the launch also. Here also after launch I could have enter staff number and password. I'm doing everything in a separate page for a reason. I'll talk about that tomorrow, but let's do those today. So first thing, enter staff number. So how will I do that? What is this action? This is a write stage. We are going to write something, right? So we are going to use a write stage here. Write, and double click, name it as write staff number, and which element we want to write to the staff number. From this tree, get the element name, staff number, drag and drop to element, and value. What is the value that we want to pass to staff number? 1. So we're going to pass 1 and click OK here. I can create another page for like entering the password, or I can choose to enter it here only. So write. Okay, first time let me create another page for that only. Reset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another page to enter password, because I'm doing it for a reason. Okay, and I'm going to replicate this thing. So I'm going to, without creating a new, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'll name is at enter password. Click OK here. So it created a replica of this. Okay, same one. So I'm going to change up this, enter password, and here I don't want to use staff number. I want to use password only, and enter 1 in the password. Okay, so we are done with this. Another, I'll take a new one, and I'll name it click sign in. This is to click the sign in button. Click OK here. And how to click some button? So just few of the steps. To launch something, navigate. To write or read, you will use write and read stage here. To click on anything, to click on any button, we are going to use navigate, because on clicking of something, it is going to navigate to a different page. So here, if we click sign in, it will take to our new order, view existing order page. So again, for clicking anything, use navigate. So double click, enter your sign in button, element, action as we're going to do a single mouse click, right? So global mouse click center. So if you are going to do double click here in the sign in, then choose global double mouse click center. So we'll see the difference. We'll discuss later about what is the difference between mouse click and mouse click center. For now, it's a single click. It's not a double click. We are clicking once only here. Okay. So I'm selecting global mouse click center here. Okay. So there are others. Few people ask about why can I use press, because I'm just pressing this button, right? So that's not the usual way. These have different functionality. Here you are doing a mouse click. Okay, global mouse click center. So let's enter this global mouse click center, because I'm going to click doing a left mouse click only, and let's name it as click sign in, and click OK here, and let's connect this. Okay, so now we're done with this. We are entering one here, and clicking on the sign in. Obviously, we need to connect everything in a single workflow, but that we'll do it tomorrow. Let's test it if it is working. Yeah.
What is the difference between global right click and global right click center?
Okay, so so this is something. This concept comes in something. This mouse click and mouse click center. We'll discuss about this when discussing about thin client and thick client. So this is something we'll talk about. Okay, the major difference I can tell you now is when you select global mouse click center, it is asking for one mouse mouse button. The name is mouse button. But when you select global mouse click, it is asking for three things: X coordinates, Y coordinates, and global mouse click. And you have to enter the value here. So for example, what is my X coordinate? You can take the X coordinate from the application modeler, that we are doing before. For example, 30. Y coordinate is 4. I don't know. I'm just randomly inputting this value, and leave the mouse button as blank. So this is an extra thing that you have to do in global mouse click. In global mouse click. So if there is an application, so this is something I wanted to discuss later. That is the reason. So basically here you have to put extra stuff here which you don't have good information about. So if you know exactly about the X and Y coordinates of your button, then you can go ahead and do global mouse click. This is something people normally use in case of surface automation or Citrix automation. Okay, we'll see about this later, but for just now, understand that global mouse click is not a feasible stuff here, because we don't know the X and Y coordinates of the button. This is mandatory to enter here. However, if I choose global mouse click center, I don't have to enter the X and Y coordinates. It will automatically click based on the sign in button that we have identified in the application. Okay.
Okay, so
Understood
in
this?
global mouse click center, it will detect the center of the sign in button itself.
Right, exactly.
So even if the coordinates change or the dialog box change, it will change the coordinates itself.
Yes, because it doesn't rely upon the coordinates. See here, we are not passing the coordinates. Okay, it doesn't rely upon the coordinates. Global mouse click is necessary to rely upon coordinates sometime, because when we do the when we automate a VM, a virtual machine, that time I'll show you in which case it is necessary to provide the X and Y coordinates. There are some places where it is necessary to get the X and Y coordinate. There it will not be able to find the center of your mouse click. Okay, that is a different scenario. You got the point?
Yes, Prem. Thank you.
Yeah. So in this case, we'll go with global mouse click center. Okay, and click OK here. So let's do this, and let's test everything is working or not. So there are some errors with self repairable. So I'm just going repair all and close. No error now, and click here launch. Launching fine. Then let me do it side by side. Then second thing is that enter staff number, run. Enter 1 here. See, automatically enter 1. enter password, run. It entered 1H password here, and now we are going to reset, run this. It is clicking on the sign in button automatically. So we are fine, till this step. Obviously these pages are distributed. We are going to connect all of these stages in the Process Studio, because you see this is like create instance, send email, write collection. It is same. The pages, in the pages in the Vivio are same. What we are doing, we are using those pages in the Process Studio. So tomorrow we are going to extend this application. We are going to create a lot of other pages for adding new order or view existing order. Then we are going to combine everything in the Process Studio, and we'll see how data transfer happens between Process Studio and Object Studio. Okay? Any doubts here? I hope you are able to understand, what exactly we are achieving in the Object Studio, how we configure the application modeler to find out all the attributes, and using these attributes only I am able to send one to staff number, one to password, and able to click the sign in button. Okay, and then I have created multiple pages for single action. Later we'll combine everything and we'll create the whole workflow. Okay, this is what I wanted to discuss today. From tomorrow we can continue the same one, and we will I'll provide you an assignment tomorrow by giving you one exe file. You can automate the exe file by yourself throughout the whole week. Okay, then if you do not have any doubts, we can stop it here and we can resume it tomorrow.
Prem, Sakshi here.
Yes, Sakshi, tell me.
Question. So in last class, we automated the mail sending.
Yeah.
So in that, we assume that we have already signed in our Gmail account. So if we have to log in the Gmail account, we have to first create an object to sign in, and then we can go in the process stage and automate the mail.
Sakshi, that one, whatever we did, let me close this guys for now. Whatever we did, that is, that is something that is directly provided by Blue Prism. So see here, the email POP3 SMTP that we saw, this is already provided by Blue Prism. See, whatever we have imported the email POP3, how to send SMS, that is, written here. How to configure, it is written here. Everything is there. We just use these multiple pages. For example, get messages, send message. We use this in the Process Studio here. We used it here. See here, we use the send message by selecting the send message. Okay, the one that you are telling, we are going to discuss about that, where it is a third-party application. So what we'll do, we will do a web browser automation where we will go to gmail.com. So basically we'll go to gmail.com, and then we are going to click on the sign in button by finding the attributes of this button. Then we are going to identify this field and send some data here. Identify this button, click on next, and we will do all of this. Okay, this is separate. This comes under your web application automation, because gmail.com is a website. It's a web application. What we did there, that is internally, that is the same thing. We are doing the same email sending, but that is the internally provided by Blue Prism only, where we don't need to go to gmail.com. We don't need to find out the sign in button. If we provide the username and password, everything is done by Blue Prism only. Okay, so these are two different scenarios, but they both do the same thing, sending email.
Right. So since we have a VBO for Gmail, we don't have to go through that hassle.
Exactly right.
But if I want to automate a Facebook post, then I'll have to create an object for that.
Yeah, right. So if you want to automate Facebook or Flipkart.com, so or Amazon, you can, we have to go through that. Also, if you can also choose to automate Gmail also, as I told. If you want, so for example, here, how many stages are provided? So let me, tell you here. So if I double click here, see under, sorry. Okay, just give me a minute. So if I go to Gmail, as you can see here, I have a get, generate, then okay, sorry. If I have to send an email, I have this list: send message, configure, delete message, get message, and this. But what if I want to create a new account in Gmail? Is it here? No, I cannot create a new Gmail account through this, right? Because I don't have that option. So if I want to do that, what I have to do is I have to go to gmail.com. Then I have to create an account, and I have to identify all the field the same way we did for the Windows automation today. We'll identify all of this, provide value to all of this, and click on next, and a new Gmail account will be created. So we'll see these examples. Don't worry about this, but these are just different scenario of the same application. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other doubts, guys? Otherwise, we can continue from tomorrow on. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay then. So I will share this recording at today evening sometime, tonight, and I'll upload that exe file also to the folder so that you can automate this.
Prem, this is Arun here. How do you install a virtual machine? Can you help me with that after this call, or is a problem?
That will take some time. Like I'm not free in the weekend, so we have to do it sometime else. So basically, you can go through some YouTube video for that. Installing a virtual machine, you have to install Oracle. There are different providers. I choose Oracle VirtualBox. You can choose with Citrix also. So Oracle VirtualBox, basically you keep it downloaded. Okay, Oracle VirtualBox, you keep it downloaded based on Windows machine or whatever you have. You install that, and I'll tell you how to import it. So basically, it's not a big deal to install it. You have to import a very large file. So I'm not sure if I have sent you that. I'll send you that file. Otherwise, around a 15 GB file you have to import. Okay.
Okay.
So that will give you a new complete Windows machine inside your Windows machine. So you can do all sort of whatever you want there. You can do this there.
So you don't need a admin login or stuff for that.
No, nothing. You just can import that, and you can start working on that. Already Blue Prism, Microsoft Excel, all Outlook, everything is installed there. You can start automating everything. Okay.
Okay, fine. So, if I want to do it on my office computer, I just need 15 GB of space. That's it.
Office computer, yeah, you need that. But see, take a very run it through your admin. What do you say? The people, IT people, because the Windows that runs on my virtual machine is not a paid version. So if Microsoft knows about that, then you'll be penalized for that. And normally in official purpose, we don't use cracked version of Windows system. Normally it will be paid version of Windows. So I don't recommend to use it in office environment. There are a lot of companies where people have been people have faced legal problems by using cracked version of Windows. All of these are cracked version of Windows. Basically, we need to pay 5,000 or something for Windows. So please don't use that in office environment. If you are planning to use that, then take proper what do you say, permission from your IT team. Otherwise, you may run into trouble.
Okay, understood.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
No problems.
Okay then. So okay guys, you can ping me in WhatsApp. Actually, I need to go for breakfast. I'm a little hungry now. And you can, if you have anything else, then Jitu will see that thing sometime later. I need to go for breakfast now, and we'll surely see that about this one. We'll discuss it sometime. I'll let you know. I'll ping you in WhatsApp. Okay.
Sorry, Prem, there was an internet connection problem at my end. It is raining heavily at Pune, so I was cut off for at least 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, man. It's raining heavily in Mumbai and Pune. I am hearing the news. Maybe all of you are safe there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are safe, but our internet is not safe actually.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll upload the video. You can get back, with all your doubts. That is absolutely fine. Okay.
No problem.
So okay, so thanks guys. So if you have any individual doubt, just ping me to the WhatsApp me. I'll connect with you individually for solving that by taking some time slot, and we'll connect. Okay.
Okay, can you upload the video for today and the version 6 of Blue Prism?
Yeah, I'll do it today. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.